Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
I see you have the gold medal around your neck, and we've had a lot of Olympians on. They're all wearing their medals. I love, congratulations, by the way. Was it just like any other hockey tournament for you? You've been in many, or was there a lot of testing, quarantining, segregation? Did it feel totally different than any hockey tournament you've ever been in?
I guess it was not as bad as what the World Championship was in August, so definitely was prepared for it. But obviously, there's a little more rules with testing every day, but that's something we've been used to. The rules in Canada have been pretty strict too, so that wasn't any different. But just to have the opportunity to compete was truly special. And then after the testing, it wasn't as strict as what people would think.
From our viewers, if you don't mind me reading some of their comments, Andrew Stute, Montreal Canadiens fan, writes in and says, "Salut, Anne Renee." Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg says, "I'm jealous. I want to be at a cottage." So looks like life is good for you. Anne Renee, I read that you didn't speak English much before you went to college. Is that true?
Yeah, I guess that's one of the things coming from up north Quebec. It's not very common. So I guess it was a big challenge, and I just decided to try it, see what was going to happen. But here I am today on your show speaking English in front of everybody. So it's not too bad.
Très bien. Très bien.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
I'm just fascinated with the interest in this Coyotes arena situation. Is there a misconception out there why this is happening?
There really is. It's a short-term solution to a long-term spectacular opportunity. There's a big vision here. Alex Marullo, the owner, is undefeated in projects. He doesn't fail. I have 2 gold shovels. I'd like a third.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
G'day, Canada and Canadian sports fans around the world. Welcome to the RP Show on this Wednesday, March the 16th. We're coming to you live, as always, from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. And, we got a big day for you today. TSN's Director of Scouting, Craig Button's going to drop by the program today. The president of the Calgary Stampede, Steve McDonagh. Yahoo! Stampede Steve's going to be here, and we're going to break with protocol because we have got a very special guest. We're going to, right out of the chute number 3. Alanna Nolan joins us, formerly of Flames TV and Stamps TV, WHL on Shaw, and all kinds of great things. Our good friend Alanna Nolan's dropped by the Grey Eagle. How you doing, Alanna?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Rod.
How are you with talking sports? You good for 2 hours?
I think I'm okay.
Yeah, no kidding. Welcome down to the Grey Eagle. People in Calgary and all of Alberta would know Alanna very well as the host of Flames TV and Stamps TV. But for the viewers across the nation on Game Plus and the States, we're going to get in a little bit of Alanna's story. You did your last game Saturday.
I know. I'm so sad.
For the Flames.
For the Flames, yeah.
3-0 victory over the Detroit Red Wings, and you're moving on. So before we get to the Quick Six show topics and all the rest, which the gal's a trailblazer in the broadcasting industry. She can hold her own with the NHL leftovers, the WHL leftovers. Randy Ambrosie was in town yesterday. Whatever comes up, we can talk about with Alanna. But you're in a interesting spot in life.
It's a new chapter. I'm a free agent.
Yes. How's that feel?
It feels good. It's a change. It's something new, but it's an adventure, and I'm really excited. After 10 years with the Calgary Stampeders and almost 5 years with the Flames, I'm excited for what's next.
Well, you literally. I appreciate you coming down early to Grey Eagle. We had a little visit down here in the stage barn. I said, you've done everything there is to do here. Right?
It's true.
Yeah. So, and you got some rings. You want to flash those in front of the camera? You got a couple Grey Cup rings. The Stampeders.
I should have 5, Rod. I'm very disappointed.
Lost 3.
I know.
Yeah, and throw a Stanley Cup ring in there. It can't be easy leaving now.
No, I'm like that's the thing. It's like I have major FOMO that I'm going to be in Toronto for the NHL playoffs and miss how far the Flames go, because I really do think that it is a special team, and Daryl Sutter's got them playing a special way, and I think they are going to go pretty far.
So we're going to welcome in the comments in the chat from the viewers watching on YouTube. Of course, the text line is open, 902-518-3033. Anywhere across the globe, you can comment and text us. Again, 902-518-3033. But we got a lot of stories we can get into. And obviously, as I said, the happenings in the NHL last night. But I think the Stamps seem to be quite upset that you're leaving too. Like, that's quite an association. Like, that's your team.
That's my team. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've managed to develop some really close relationships, obviously, with John Hufnagel and his wife, Sherry. We're about as tight as you can get. And, we had a shoot last week with Taylor Artilio, our strength and conditioning coach. And a bunch of our players are in town and they're training right now. So, to see them and to get hugs and, well wishes and everything else, they're never not going to be my team, just because of all the hours that we've spent together and all the miles that we've put on traveling. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I should tell the viewers that Alanna and I first crossed paths, WHL on Shaw.
The good old days.
Right. 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I apologize that I'm jumping all over the place. You know that I'm a bit of a squirrel. Thank you for following my zany road here. But you were hosting, I was doing the play-by-play. Yeah. And it was games in Saskatchewan and Alberta. And when you say the good old days, you came up through Rodeo on the air.
Yep.
So let's start there.
Okay.
What makes you a rodeo gal?
So I used to trick ride. I was on the rodeo circuit for many, many years. We used to travel from Denver to San Antonio to Houston every winter. And then during the summertime, we would do some rodeos in Canada. So I got to know the rodeo circuit really well just through performing. And then I ended up working on a couple of rodeo shows. And with that resume, Joe Wilcox, who was the station manager here at Shaw TV Calgary, wanted to bring me on for their Calgary Stampede coverage because they were really amping it up with chuck wagons and rodeo. And then the rest is history. They asked me if I would stay on for WHL and for CIS football, U Sports football now. And did 7 years of that and got to meet you, which was great.
I'll never forget. It was in the Brand Center in Regina. And she's just radiating this light. It's what you can see as you're watching, and you always do. But then how did that lead into the Stamps thing?
So,
this
is a funny story. So when I first moved to Calgary to work for Shaw, I had approached the Stampeders because I had worked for the Edmonton team for 2 seasons for their website. And this was before, web video was still kind of a thing because there wasn't the bandwidth for it. So I approached the Stampeders and I said, hey, I used to do this in Edmonton. Is this something you'd be interested in? And they kind of just blew me off. So the next season, they sent out a tweet. And this is why I say I bullied myself in there. They sent out a tweet to say to fans, hey, what do you want to see on game days at the Stampeders game at McMahon Stadium? And I tweeted, how about a little black-haired girl doing interviews on the sideline?
Wow.
How about that?
That's how I got the job.
Good for, see?
You got to shoot your shot, guys.
She's a bulldog. And so before we got so many things to get to, as I say. By the way, I see Clark has just popped up the poll question today. Let me just stop for a second. For Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, should Jaromir Jagr come out of retirement? If you saw, Ovi scored a beautiful goal last night for Washington. He's moved into, I think it's sole possession of 3rd all-time for goals, past Jaromir Jagr. And Yami's talking about coming out of retirement now. The question we're putting is, should he come out? I'm going to say no. Stop it. He's 50. Although, having said that, we're the exact same age, so I would pull for that. But no, don't be a circus sideshow. What's your vote on that, Alanna?
I agree with you. I think he should just stay away.
Again, I think they're serious about it. Milt was talking about coming out of retirement in the CFL with those old guys. No, just stop, guys. Stop. There comes a time.
Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady.
Tom's different.
He's created a movement.
He started it all.
Okay.
But the thing is, I want Tom to. Where are you on Tom?
I'm a Peyton Manning fan, so yeah, I know.
I like
Am
Peyton
I
too.
kicked off the show now?
No, you can like them all. I love Peyton too, but Tom's my guy.
Okay.
TB12. So I got to say another thing. We have some Rider fans in attendance here. Make some noise. Thank you. Hey, thanks for coming down. Finally, we've done, I was adding it up last night, 28 shows live from Grey Eagle, but only like 5 on the stage here. This is what I wanted from the start.
This is great. I love
Isn't
the
this
setup.
amazing?
It's so cool.
This
so
is
cool.
amazingly cool. And we're leaving on Saturday, but we'll be back here in April. Anyways, Riders stamps.
Oh, boy.
Despite
Rider fans do not like me. They are not
it's
going to miss
mutual,
me.
isn't it?
I enjoy when they're sad.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Friendship aside, just me and her, that Rider stamps is real. And it's funny because when Mark Killam was on the air, the Stampeder special teams coordinator, I said, is winning in Regina as a Stampeder the best feeling in the world? He said, second only to beating them here.
And winning the Grey Cup.
Right. Well, he said, and seeing them go home sad. That's what Mark Killam said. So
The cohesion of the Stampeders organization.
it's very tight that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
So talk about some of the epic battles, because you're on the sidelines.
Well, 2013, I think, is the one that stands out for me in
West
the playoffs.
Final?
Yeah. That was...
That wouldn't be a good one.
No, it wasn't. That's the thing is you remember the losses more than you remember the wins. That one stands out. There was a couple. I remember just being on the sideline and being absolutely drenched because the snow was just coming down. It was fun. The Stampeders winning in New Mosaic. I remember that.
Green tears, I remember, was something that you either tweeted or Instagrammed.
Yep, feeding off the tears of Rider fans. Yes.
Right. So when you say Rider fans don't like you,
Oh, I've been called several names. Things I cannot say.
how do you
here.
deal with that?
Mostly ignore and block.
Does it bother you?
No.
Good.
No, not at all. I think
Good.
it's funny.
Yeah.
I like that I get under their skin a little bit, actually. And it was something silly. It was like I compared Corey Sheets and John Cornish, and I said John Cornish was a better running back, and it was holy
Away they went.
moly.
Yeah, but that's you realize that is good.
It is. It's
right?
great for the league, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes the CFL so unique and so special is that fans have this access to players and to people who report on the team and to management and coaches, and they feel comfortable being able to have a conversation like that.
Alanna Nolan with us, former host of Flames TV, Stamps TV. Are you used to that former in there? Is that...
I mean, I've got 2 weeks left. So.
Okay, you do? Okay.
But I am super excited. So we've hired my replacement, Natasha Stanishevsky,
Yeah.
formerly from TSN. She had her first Stamps TV piece yesterday with Randy Ambrosi, like
commish.
you mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm excited because I think she's going to bring not only just a new voice, but new ideas and a new approach to Stamps TV, because we've been really doing the same thing for a long time. We mix it up a little bit, but I think she's going to be a great addition. I think Stamps fans and Stamps TV is in really good hands.
She's a great person. She's a Western gal, if I can throw that out there. Believe me, the East looks after the East, so we can look after each other in the West. That's what I think. But thankfully, we've smoothed over these waters, I think, between myself and the Stampeders, because I kind of saw you as the broker in the deal.
Oh.
Well, this Bo Levi jersey, there's a story behind it. Do you want to get into
No. You cost, oh my God.
that? I didn't. As usual,
There was
not trying to cause anything and causing
yes.
something.
And you had John Huffnagel on.
Yes.
It was great. You had Killam on, you had Mueller
Mark
on.
Mueller, and away we roll. And I'm not sure if Bo will ever be on, but I did explain to John Huffnagel when he was on this show here at Grey Eagle. I said, Huff, I came in to speak at a Calgary event. They asked me to bring a jersey. I didn't want to be the jerk and show up with a Fajardo jersey. So I thought, let's get a Bo Levi jersey. I'm trying to do the right thing. And Huff was like, well, it's all good now.
That's a very Huff thing to say, yes.
Yeah, very Huff thing
Very
to
Huff thing to say.
Is he-
It's
well-
fine now, but it wasn't at the time.
You do see how I was trying to do the right
Yes,
thing.
yes.
Yeah. And that, speaking of, I know that we're kind of Calgary focused, but why not? We're at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. And in my mind, I've picked up that in the next segment, we'll get into last night's NHL stories, Dub stories, Randy's road trip stuff, and all the rest. But there's two coaches in this town they're a little gruff. Daryl Sutter and Huff.
Yeah.
And I know, I've seen the other side of Daryl. It's just slightly less gruff.
Yep.
But I haven't seen the other side of Huff. Is he the same guy behind the sings as we see on TV?
I think it's a little bit different for me because I think he's a little gentler with women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it. I love you, Huff. I've seen him upset. Put it this way, one of my favorite Huff memories, I think I can say this. So we're heading to Regina for a preseason game, and we had the entire squad trying out. So we had 80 some players on this plane, and things were getting a little rowdy. People were excited because we were leaving Calgary and going on the road, and the players weren't necessarily sitting down on the plane for us to take off. And Huff stood up, and all he had to do was give a look, and those blue eyes just
I wouldn't want to see that.
No. And the plane, Rod, went dead quiet, and everybody sat down, and we took off.
That's the control he has of the football team.
That's the respect he has of the football team, I would say. Yeah.
That too.
Yes.
But I would say control. My mind's flashing because it's amazing. When we signed Duron Carter in Saskatchewan, I didn't like him because I just went by what I saw on TV and his interviews and stuff, and I'm like, why are we signing this guy? And then he shows up in training camp, and the same thing happened. Our first road trip, we were trying to take off from somewhere, and he wouldn't sit down. The difference was the coach, who will remain nameless, didn't do anything about it. We're like, hey, we got a guy back here I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
And Duron was, at that time, kind of acting like a jerk. But then I got to know Duron a little better, and obviously I love him now. I flat out love him. But that's why I ask you about Huff, and to a certain extent, Daryl Sutter. What you see on television is very rarely what they are.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and actually, every meeting and encounter I've had with Daryl has been great. It was last season, I had to interview him. I guess it was last off season. It was my first time because just with protocols and restrictions, I wasn't as involved with the Flames as previous years. And so I had to do a Zoom interview with Daryl, and it was kind of a surprise because it was supposed to be with Brad Treliving. So I'm kind of scrambling and everything else, and I'm, you have this impression of somebody because of what you see on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told our director of communications, Peter Hanlon, I'm like, tell him I'm a horse girl, and this'll bridge the gap here, because we'll talk about horses and farms and cattle and everything else, and this'll pick us off right. And so we get on the Zoom, and Peter Hanlon says to Daryl, he goes, Alanna fancies herself a ranch woman, and I'm like, ranch?
What? Didn't say that.
No, I said I ride horses. And Daryl was great. He was like, we got plenty of horses on the farm here. He's like, you come out anytime. And then we got into the interview.
Guy
so
for you.
Yep, that was one of my encounters with Daryl, and he's been great to me and to our Flames TV crew ever since. So
we only have a minute here before we break, but I said when we started that you are, to me, a trailblazer because you were on the air before it was the inclusive movement. It was before the inclusive movement. Can I say that?
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? So what was it like to be a female doing what you did before it was on Vogue?
It was, you know what? I had a lot of fun. I don't know if it's because I'm an only child, but I related to the boys. I got along with the boys really well. I kind of felt like when we were doing our WHL on Shaw broadcast.
You were one of the guys.
I felt like somebody's little sister that was just kind of, hanging out. We're talking sports. We're watching sports. We're here for a good time, not a long time. And I really wanted to make it easier, like they say, extend the ladder down. I really wanted for the next girl or the next female reporter to come up, make it easier for her. And
do you feel like you have?
I hope so, yeah.
Have you had young girls say, you're my idol in this business?
So I'm going to humble brag here for a second.
You go, that's why I asked.
On our new hire, again, why Stamps TV and the Stamps website is going to be in great hands. Michaela Burze was my placement student last summer and worked with us at training camp with the Stampeders. And she's like, I want your job. Like, I've watched you for years, and like, you're what I want to do. And I'm like, fantastic. Here's what you have to do to get here. And then she worked really, really hard. A position came open with our Stampeders website. She got the job.
Bravo.
And she's already killing it. The Rock responded to one of her tweets last night. I'm so proud of her. So, yeah.
She's off to a great start.
Oh, 100%. She's gonna change everything, and it's going to be for the better.
Alanna Nolan of Flames TV and Stamps TV with us down at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. On the way, Craig Button, Arash Madani, Steve McDonagh from the Calgary Stampede. We'll be right back. You're watching on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Number 16, a legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Godfather of shock rock is back with special guest Buck Cherry. Mosaic Place, Sunday, April 10th. Get tickets now at mosaicplace.ca and sasktix.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, where the gateway to the foothills. Aerial coverage provided by Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Tell them Rod sent you. Get 10% off.
How about that?
Right. By the way,
Tell him Lanny sent you.
Tell him Lanny sent you. The master of redneck comedy, Jeff Foxworthy, is coming here live at the Grey Eagle Event Center Saturday, May 28th. Actor, writer, producer, and former host of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Jeff Foxworthy's hilarious show can't be missed. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.ca. Plus, July 28th, catch the West Coast beach vibes with one of the most influential rock and roll bands of all time, the Beach Boys. Dance and sing along to the best hits of the iconic band for one night only. July 28th. All right. Alanna Nolan here from Stamps TV, Flames TV. While I reset and get my NHL notes up here. This place loves the Calgary Stampeders, but that's not news to you.
No, we've hosted our poker tournament here at the Grey Eagle many years. They treat us very, very well.
That must be a thing that they do because they treat us very, very well too. We very much enjoy being down here. So the host of Flames TV is going to help me with last night's NHL leftovers. Can you hit the quick six show horn, please, Director Jordan? It's a little later than normal. Here we go. We'll start with NHL leftovers from last night. Erik Källgren made 35 saves to earn a shutout in his first NHL start as Toronto blanked the Dallas Stars 4-0. I thought it was a big deal to earn a start in your first NHL game, but apparently not. 4 other Leafs goalies have done it. Good for him, yeah, but it's a big deal. But get used to the name Erik Källgren, because he might be the Leafs goalie moving ahead. Meanwhile, the Edmonton Oilers almost paid for falling asleep at the wheel. Evander Kane had a pair of goals, and the Oilers held on for a 7-5 victory over the Detroit Red Wings. Edmonton raced out to an early 3-0 lead in the team's third straight win as they try to solidify their playoff position. The Wings, meanwhile, have lost 6 straight. And I was going to tweet last night, Alanna, the Wings are exactly what Alberta needed, but I didn't want to be that negative guy, but I'll say it here. The Wings they barely showed up at the Saddledome on Saturday.
Barely, yeah. Yeah, and Edmonton almost messed it up last night. I watched that game. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Here we go.
Well, that reminds me, that was Alanna's last game with Flames TV. The shots at one time were 19-1 Flames
After
over Detroit.
first period,
yeah. And then 30-3.
5, yeah.
30-5, either or. And when you're hosting a game like that, are you like glued on the game, or what do you do while the game's going on?
Yeah, so we have our Flames TV desk set up in the event level next to the dressing room. So we have our Jumbotron crew does an excellent job. They've got a huge TV there for my old eyes to watch the action that's going on. And then, you just sort of watch the game and take some notes. And then we have a post-game show that goes live into the bowl and onto YouTube. So with our guest, sometimes the guest sits with me during the period. Sometimes they just come on after, and we break down the game and talk about all the storylines that are going on.
Do you carry the Daryl Sutter news conference live as part of that?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you saw the question where somebody said, was it hard for Jacob Markstrom to go 20 minutes without a shot in that game? Daryl, that's his job.
I love Daryl.
I would
He's
hate
so
interviewing him. I said to Mark Steven here Friday, guy that you would know very well, voice of the Stampeders, who would be the worst guy to interview? Bill Belichick, Daryl Sutter, or Greg Popovich? Because none of them seem to like the media.
I would say Bill Belichick.
Would be the worst?
Yeah, that would be my guess. I mean, I've never interviewed him, but that to me would be.
I don't really want to interview any of them. If you had to pick one.
We could try to get Daryl on here.
He'd be fine. There's no doubt about that. Moving on.
Let's talk about cows. You'll be fine.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that because when Brent Sutter was running the Red Deer Rebels, because, I'm a farmer, Alanna. Well, I have farmland. Somebody farms it for me. But I said to Brent Sutter, how was the hay crop this year, Brent? And he just gave you that look. You know? And away we went.
You're in the club.
Didn't take much.
That was my exact approach with him, too.
But it was an exclusive club.
Yep.
Very exclusive club.
How are the cow-calf pairs?
Right. And away they go. Can't shut him up then. But don't ask him about his lack of ability on the power play. Mm-hmm. Winnipeg Jets players were fired up by some Bronx cheers from their home crowd last night in a 7-3 win over the Vegas Golden Knights. The Jets didn't get a shot on goal until late in the first period, prompting some sarcastic cheers from the Jets faithful. Captain Blake Wheeler says the jeering wasn't pretty. Kyle Connor extended his goal-scoring streak in the win. So huge win there. I saw Bob Knuckles Irving, the conscience of Winnipeg sports, kind of calling out Blake Wheeler for calling out the fans. To me, it all seemed very Winnipegish to me. And we have a lot of viewers on Game Plus TV out in Winnipeg. So I'm careful when I say that. But you've spent now a good deal of time in Winnipeg. And you strike me as a gal that quite enjoyed your time in Winnipeg.
I enjoyed my time at the games in Winnipeg. I don't know if I would be making this move if my partner Pete was still with the Blue Bombers.
Right.
I'll just leave it at that.
No, I got it. But the point being, her partner Pete was with the Bombers. One Grey Cup or two for him? One.
Or,
no, with the Bombers.
The Bombers, just one.
Just the last season. It's interesting to me because I've long said the Winnipeg sports fans carry a lot of baggage. And quite frankly, so do Flames fans, and nobody carries more baggage than Vancouver Canucks fans. But in Winnipeg, they got that 30-year Samsonite suitcase off their back with the Bombers, and yet the Jets fans, who are the same people, I might say, Jets fans and Bomber fans are the same people, but the Jets fans are still carrying a lot of baggage too. Did you spend enough time in that town to get a sense of what the vibe is?
Not with the Jets. I mean, the Bomber fans show up and they are passionate, and I'm biased, obviously, because I think Calgary Stampeder fans are the best in the league, but Bombers would be right up there. I was there for the first game of the season, and it was electric. Like, that place, when they say that it is the loudest in the CFL, I believe it.
I think it is.
Yep.
And I refuse to acknowledge that. We had out those decibel meters, and I'm like, it's fixed. They won they are legitimately the loudest stadium in the CFL.
Yep.
Painfully loud, actually. So that's our take on Winnipeg. The Arizona Coyotes' 5-game Eastern Conference road trip was a success. Arizona picked up 4 wins in 5 games, culminating with a 6-3 victory over the Montreal Canadiens last night. Backup Scott Wedgwood grabbed the win in Ottawa, while rookie Karl Verzmelka, one of the quiet surprises in Arizona, notched the final victory of the trip. One thing you never told me what a hockey haven this is, Alanna. I didn't know till I got here. You can go to a high-level great game every night, obviously. And I had a head scout of a team, I won't say which one. We were talking about this Verzmelka, and he's like, I didn't even know who he was. And this guy's a head scout. Talk about coming out of nowhere. I obviously won't say which team. And Bo Horvat earned praise for his actions on and off the ice in the Canucks' 6-3 win over the visiting New Jersey Devils. The 26-year-old had 2 goals and an assist in the victory, and afterward, Vancouver coach Bruce Boudreau called his captain a true leader, saying Horvat was vocal on the bench all game long. They should give him pom-poms. I got to mention the dub, because again, 2 WHL on Shaw alum here. And all the teams tell me they watch in the room, this show in their dressing room every day, which was like my goal when we started this. That this would be a daytime show for the teams. You know what I mean? Yeah. For the players and coaches. So in Winnipeg, Connor Geekie and Chase Wheatcroft each had a goal in the helpers. The Winnipeg Ice blanked the Calgary Hitmen 4-0 in Winnipeg. Did you do much work with the Hitmen over the years as a host for the Hitmen?
Not for the Hitmen, no. Just with the WHL. We've followed them extensively when Mike Williamson was the head coach.
They were doing a lot of winning, yes.
They were.
In Brandon, Eric Ulrey and Braden Yager each scored twice in Moose Jaw's 7-1 road win over Brandon. Yager's goal broke Theo Fleury's record for goals by a rookie, and Theo congratulated him on Twitter, because that's the kind of guy Theo is. In Red Deer, Arshdeep Bain scored twice, while Ben King, Talon Brigley, and Kalen Lind had singles for the Red Deer Rebels. They beat the Saskatoon Blades 5-2. In Medicine Hat, Brendan Lee scored twice, including the third period goal that forced OT to lead Medicine Hat to a 5-4 shootout win over God's team, the Regina Pats. Connor Bedard scored. Did you see it? Of course, everybody saw it. And it's funny because afterwards he swung his stick in his hands, the Sizzler. There was a guy in the 80s, Alanna, long before your time. Corey Patterson played for the Pats, and he used to swing his stick in his hands, like he called it the Sizzler. He was watching the game from Tallahassee, Florida last night and sent me the clip. He's going, Bedard's got my move. Oh, I'm sure, Corey. Hockey guys, right? Elsewhere, Thunderbirds beat the Americans 5-1. Silvertips beat the Chiefs 3-0. And I got to mention, my Canmore Eagles, they're my team now with my cousin Ethan Schaefer playing on them. They won Game 7 at Camrose to advance to round 2. Go Eagles. Now, I had NBA in here in BCLA, but I only got Alanna for a few more minutes. So I just want to say that Randy's road trip started here in Calgary yesterday. Alanna pointed out that the next Alanna replacement, Natasha Stanishevsky, interviewed Randy with a one-on-one on the Stampeders website. You can go watch it now. But in your time, you must have been around Randy a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think about this guy?
I really like Randy. I mean, I've been around the commissioners since Mark Cohan. So been through quite the list of leaders, and Randy was actually quite kind to me because he had heard that I was leaving, and he just said, thank you so much, and anything you need, and he was very supportive. he's got big visions. I really like his. They're resurrecting the diversity as our strength with different pillars, including women in sport, which is obviously a passion of mine. And this Genius Sports endeavor, I'm really interested to see when he explained kind of the things that this company can do, not just for the CFL but for sports in general. It's an exciting time.
It really is. And before we went to air, we were talking about the Edmonton Elks. Even the casual observers are paying attention to what's going on with Victor Quay up there. That guy, I talked about you radiating light. That guy radiates nuclear energy, man. Yeah. How can you not? And then you pair him with Jones. We're all sitting there as CFL people going, this is going to go one of two ways.
Yeah.
For their sake, I hope
Are we placing bets? Are we...
Well, Arlen Bruce was watching the other day, and he said, Rod, do you think the Elks have what it takes to win it all? And I'm like, I just can't see it in year one.
Yeah.
But eventually, yes. I mean, you've been around Jones. He does win.
Yeah.
He has his own way of doing it. I'll leave you with this. It was the Stamps gal that you will always be. Who is Calgary's top rival this year in the CFL? Because when Killam Mueller came down, all they talked about was Edmonton.
Yeah.
I had a sense that that's who they got the target on.
I mean, that's the Battle of Alberta. It doesn't get any better than that. But I think Winnipeg is, I mean, you saw who they all signed, re-signed again, and they're the defending champs. So I'm same when we won in 2018, we had a target on our back. Everybody wanted to beat the defending champs. So I think it's going to be a battle royale between the Bombers and the Stampeders.
Well, and we got a break. I hate that, but we do. But as you pointed out, the Argos are Calgary 2.0.
Yeah.
And then you got the Bombers. You're in a rivalry with everybody.
Exactly.
And that's what you want.
100%.
All right. Alanna, thanks for coming down.
Thank you,
and
Rod.
good luck in Toronto.
Thank
and
you so
anything you
much.
need, you know where to find us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The great Alanna Nolan. The great Craig Button joins us next from Toronto, TSN's Director of Scouting. You're watching the RP Show live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino on Game Plus TV, YouTube live streaming, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. And big time, big time, big time, big time. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino dancing.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Another beautiful morning out here in the gateway to the foothills at Great Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. We've got a note sent in from a viewer, Eric. Writes us on Twitter, fantastic show, watching from Goderich, Ontario, Canada. Love the show. Leafs fan here. Love your show's wide variety of sports content. Love it. I think you said love at least 3 times in there. Love you, Eric, for watching the show. Yeah, appreciate it. And we got to go to Toronto to chat with a Calgary guy. TSN's Director of Scouting, Craig Button, joins us on the heels of a big shutout victory. Hey, good morning, Craig, or afternoon to you. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. My sister-in-law taught in Goderich many years ago, so very familiar. It's right on the western part of Ontario, right there on the lake.
I'm glad you pointed that out, because I said to Lee Genier, who's an original Ontario guy, you know Lee, I said, have you heard of a Goderich, Ontario? He says it's Goderich. He knew, so thank you, Craig. So listen, to quote Brian Burke.
You got to get out more, Rod. You got to get out more, Rod. Seriously, there's a beautiful part of this world in our own country that you need to see.
Y'all hit Western Ontario. It's high up on my list. Trust me, it is. Are they measuring the widths of the streets in Toronto for the Stanley Cup parade, or at least casting the statue of the youngster? I even got his name, Jelgren, Eric Jelgren. But he's got to be the talk of Toronto today, Craig.
Well, he should be the talk of Toronto. I mean, number one, they needed a performance from their goaltender that, didn't put them in a hole, that didn't have them skittish, that didn't have them chasing the game. And Eric Jelgren delivered that exactly. You know what's amazing, Rod? It amazes me. Like a shutout in his first NHL start. So that's that's 1,000 save percentage, right? They haven't had a save percentage amongst their 2 goaltenders combined over 900 since December 1st. And now you know what the conversation is? Get this. Should Shalgren start on Thursday night versus the Canes? It's like I feel like I could just pull out my hair, poke myself in the eyes, because the amount of stupidity that exists, it knows no limits. Einstein said it best. The difference between genius and stupidity, genius has its limits.
I know, I'm so with you on that. But by the way, let's just say he continues on a roll here. And for his sake and the Leafs, I hope he does. What kind of a headache does that create when you got Jack Campbell and Peter Mrazek, who are here to do this? Is there a headache on the horizon here for the Leafs?
The headache is if you don't have goaltending. So if you want to know what type of headache was happening, all you have to do is go back to December 1st, get a glimpse into Kyle Dubas, Sheldon Keefe, and the players. Rod, you know this. The players are never, ever going to say, yeah, we need better goaltending or we're expecting better. They're always going to defend each other, and that's what they should do, and that's what we should expect. It doesn't take away from the facts. Facts are the goaltending for the Toronto Maple Leafs since December 1st has been one of the worst in the league, right at the bottom of the league. Let's not kid anybody. So, there's no headache in having good goaltending. We talk about competition, right? We want competition, on the ice, within different positions. Now they get a shutout performance when they absolutely needed just some semblance of order in the net, and they got it. There's no headache here. And the bottom line is that if Shalgren continues on, we've seen this before. We've seen it from Andrew Hammond. We saw it from Jordan Binnington en route to a Stanley Cup. So I'm using two very different examples. Jordan was in the organization, had done very well in the minors, and they call him up because of the problem in the net. Andrew Hammond took the Ottawa Senators to the 7th game double overtime against the eventual Stanley Cup champion Pittsburgh Penguins. You're just looking for goaltending. I don't know if Shalgren can do what Binnington did. I don't know if he can do what Hammond did. But I'll tell you what, it's a start in the right direction. And there's no problem for the Toronto Maple Leafs when you're getting good goaltending. There's no headache there.
Can you please give me your analysis of the Colorado-Minnesota deal? Because I haven't seen a lot of analysis of it, and I found it a little interesting. Avalanche acquiring Nico Sturm from the Minnesota Wild for Tyson Jost, former Regina Pats property, as you know. 26-year-old Sturm has 9 goals, 8 assists with a -5 this year. The 24-year-old Tyson Jost has 6 goals, 8 assists. He's +1. First-round pick out of UND. Sturm can become an unrestricted free agent this summer. Tyson Jost under contract for next season at $2 million. What was your analysis of that trade?
Well, number one, Tyson Jost, the 10th overall pick, it just hasn't developed into the player that the Colorado Avalanche thought he did. Rod, I'm going to be very clear. He made a massive mistake leaving North Dakota after one season. It was a massive mistake. He was nowhere near ready to try his hand at the NHL. And you think back to Tyson, and I've known Tyson since he was 15 years old. He felt that the college route was best for him. He was patient all the way through. Played in Penticton. Then he went to North Dakota, going along the steps. And then all of a sudden, he's the 10th overall pick and he leaves school. I mean, so Tyson Jost, by leaving school after 1 year, where he didn't come close to dominating, he wasn't the best player in college hockey. He wasn't even close to being one of the best players. And now you want to jump to the NHL? Ultimately, what Tyson did is he created his own development problem, and he's never developed. You don't develop at the NHL level. You need to come into the NHL and produce. So what I see it now for Tyson, it's a new start. It's an opportunity. He wasn't going to have any traction in Colorado. I think it was clear to the Avalanche. I think it was clear to Tyson Jost. So now you get a fresh start in Minnesota. Expectations might be a little bit different for the Colorado Avalanche. They shed some dollars next year. Nico Sturm can come in and do exactly the same thing that Tyson Jost has done for them. Exactly the same thing. So it's a move where Minnesota says, okay, we get a player for next year. We got him under contract. We'll see what we got here. And they probably felt that keeping Nico Sturm might be a challenge. So it works out really well for both teams. I hope it works out for Tyson. I hope he finds traction in his game. I go back to Danny Cleary. Danny Cleary was a high draft pick. He jumped to the NHL. I mean, he'd been a good junior, and he just never was able to find his way. Chicago, Edmonton, down to Arizona. It wasn't until he got to Detroit that he really was able to find a place. And he became a real strong, solid player for the Detroit Red Wings. Tyson Jost might need this change to find some similar success in the NHL level. There's no question in my mind that Tyson has the sense, the competitiveness, the skills, but he wasn't ready to come to the NHL, and he just couldn't catch up with it. Hopefully he can do that here in Minnesota.
I think we only have 60 seconds, but what is wrong with the Vegas Golden Knights in your estimation?
Everything. There's not one thing that's wrong. It's everything that's wrong. The goaltending is bad. The defensive play is bad. They don't score. They don't attack into the middle of the ice. They're not hard to play against. Where do you want me to start? Where do you want me to end? They got massive problems. And it might be just one of those years, Rod, simply where, they trade for Michael didn't play for a year, trying to find his way. They got the Mark Stone injury, Alec Martinez. They just haven't seemed to find footing. You remember when the Tampa Bay Lightning went to the Stanley Cup final in 2015, lost to the Chicago Blackhawks, and then missed the playoffs? The Vegas Golden Knights might be in a very similar spot. It might be in the best interest of their organization to just seems that everything has conspired against us this year. Let's just step back. Let's reevaluate, and let's get ready for next year, because this team is not a very good team, and it certainly is not even close to being any type of contender.
I would suggest that is what they need to do, but I don't think their owner, Bill Foley, is going to allow that to happen because I know the pressure that's been exerted within that organization. Craig, I can't wait to see you in Estevan at the Centennial Cup. That town is vibrating, the National Junior A Championship. They can't wait for you to get down there.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, we talk about how hockey touches everybody across the country and how it's all connected. Estevan's a great spot. It's just to be another great example to showcase the strong community love for hockey and how everybody's embraced. We're going to have a lot of fun, Rod. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to show you the barn. It's one of the greatest Junior A facilities in the whole land. Thanks, Craig. Have a great day.
You too.
Craig Button, TSN's Director of Scouting, joining us from Toronto. We're in his town, Calgary, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We're going to take a time out, come back with viewer takeover. We've got Steve McDonagh coming up, the president of the Calgary Stampede, and Sportsnet's Arash Madani to talk about this very exciting time for the Toronto Blue Jays. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube, live streaming, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
All right, here we go for Viewer Takeover. Pretty excited to welcome Taco Time back aboard, by the way. When I'm watching in Winnipeg, says the very best NHL analyst in the business, Craig Button. Bang on comments. Wayne in Victoria, BC says, I love Craig Button's analysis and knowledge of hockey. He's the former GM of the Calgary Flames, director of scouting for the Dallas Stars. That's where I got to know him. He was my dad's boss for 20 years. And I said to Craig, do you ever want to get back into management, even scouting? He says, why? I'm having too much fun. And I think that's very evident that he is. Regarding our Hour 1 guest, in-person guest, Alanna Nolan from Flames TV and Stamps TV, Jack Fulton writes in. He's watching in Vulcan, Alberta, and he says, Alanna is definitely a class act and does an outstanding job at wherever she puts her hand to. All the best moving forward, Alanna. You'll be missed. Much respect always. I don't want to let too much of the cat out of the bag, but I asked her about Bo and will we ever get Bo Levi on this show, and she kind of winked and said, he loves it. He loves the stirring up. I don't know if we're ever going to get over it, but it'll be a monumental day when Bo Levi Mitchell strodes across this stage and is on the show. I mean, hey, the invitation has been extended. Let's put it that way. Not much more I can do. Mike in Toronto says, Mike Blackbird says, Arash is on today. I'm out. Good. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. To the text line, the 902 text line, 902-518-3033. Pick up the phone and text RP. 902-518-3033. Pete Costanza writes in and says, as someone who has coached Stampeders versus Riders and Bombers versus Riders, there is nothing like the Banjo Bowl, Bombers and Riders. Pete Costanza, the longtime Calgary Stampeders assistant coach. Now he's with the Toronto Argonauts. Alanna has referred to him as my partner, Pete. That's him. And he's with the Argos now, and that's why he's taking Alanna out of Calgary to Toronto. Not a very popular move for all the Alanna fans out here, but hey, she's happy. Pete's happy. It's a bold new world. So Pete's a guy that's coached both the Stamps and the Bombers, and he says there's nothing like the Banjo Bowl. He didn't bring up Labor Day. How about that? Those Banjo Bowls are fun. Last minute of play in Hour 1. Last minute. By the way, coming up in Hour 2, I'm excited to bring on Steve McDonagh, and you'll find out why, the president of the Calgary Stampede. Some interesting things to divulge on that. Ryan McCarthy, watching in New York regarding the Tyson Jost trade, says sometimes a change in scenery is what some players need to give them a kick in the butt. Sometimes you just need a change of scenery in life. As they say, it's time. But this Tyson Jost, when he got traded yesterday, that perked up my interest too, because as Jennifer from the Four Seasons Sports Palace writes in, she says he should have come back to the Pats, especially the Memorial Cup year. Pats had his rights and he never showed up, so we were following him very closely, and he never developed in the NHL the way they'd hoped. And now he's at Minnesota Wild. All right, we'll be right back after this timeout for Hour 2. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino in Calgary.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Alice Cooper, the godfather of shock rock, is back. With special guest Buck Cherry. Mosaic Place, Sunday, April 10th. Get tickets now at mosaicplace.ca and sasktix.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Number 16. A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
I'm just fascinated with the interest in this Coyotes arena situation. Is there a misconception out there why this is happening?
There really is. It's a short-term solution to a long-term spectacular opportunity. There's a big vision here. Alex Marullo, the owner, is undefeated in projects. He doesn't fail. I have 2 gold shovels. I'd like a third.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It sure is. Good day, Canada. I would say good morning, but for those in Eastern Canada, good afternoon. And to the U.S. viewers here on Game Plus Television, a big howdy, a big yahoo. I'm very excited about our next guest to open Hour 2, which I'll get to in a second. Hour 2 is brought to you by Great Western Original 16 Beer, the best beer in the game. And we've been rocking today, as we always are, but Alanna Nolan from Flames TV and Stampeders TV was with us in Hour 1. She's in the last 2 weeks in that role, and she's moving out to Toronto, and she's going to see what the big city has for her out there. And we told some old-time Rider Stamp stories. We analyzed the NHL and what's going on. Tough time to leave Calgary with the Flames on a roll, and tonight they're home to the New Jersey Devils. And Craig Button was with us, who's a Calgary guy. TSN's director of scouting about all things NHL and Vegas Golden Knights. You guys last night in Winnipeg. And if you missed it, I said to Craig, what's wrong with the Golden Knights? He said, everything. Where do you want me to start? So we got a lot to chew on there, and I haven't even got to all of my topics, which include the Raptors wrapping up this road trip tonight. They're on a roll. The BCLA wraps up tonight. Basketball Champions League of Americas here in Calgary tonight at Win Sport Arena. Blue Jays active. There's a lot going on in sports. And are you thinking about the Calgary Stampede at all? It's hard to be in southern Alberta and not. Steve McDonagh joins us, the president of the Calgary Stampede, as we bring him on. Stampede Steve, as he's known on Twitter. How you doing, Steve?
Great, Rod.
Life good?
Life's good.
Since the minute you walked in here, you're smiling, man. As the president of the Calgary Stampede, I got to think that is a job.
It's a job. Leading a bunch of great volunteers and a great board in a great city.
After being through hell like the rest of us the last 2 years and all of that, you're probably wondering what we're going to talk about today. And I want to just walk this back as to...
Sure am.
Yeah, well, of course. Well, let's say this. My brother was a competitive rodeo cowboy, all-around cowboy in the CCA. Not for me. Horses scare me. Cattle stink. Just wasn't my thing. But I've been watching Calgary Stampede since I was a little kid, like every year, and have never, ever been, my friend. I'm hoping this year will be the first time, because working in the CFL for a generation, like Lee, you weren't in Calgary in the summertime during Stampede, right? Because everybody vacated. So I've never been. I can't wait to go this year. So are you going to be back to normal this year? Is that what it's looking?
Well, this is the plan for sure. We're going to have to change the fact that you haven't been to the Calgary Stampede. So, yeah, we'll put on a great Stampede in 2022.
Well, I've long obviously wanted to go, and we've talked about it, visions of broadcasting live downtown and so forth. However, it's just, how long have you been in this role, President of Calgary Stampede?
I'm entering my second year, but I've been a volunteer for 40 years.
So you know all the ins and outs of it. You said that you're a race Calgary guy. Mm-hmm. So let's get into it. Like it's greatest outdoor show on earth. I know it all, Steve. Trust me. Despite watching, just haven't been there.
Okay.
Just watching on television and reading the coverage and just being a quasi arm's length from the rodeo scene guy because of my family, but just not competing. A lot of friends that do and did. But COVID, I was feeling for you guys. You know, because it's the heartbeat of the city.
Right.
Mm-hmm. How did you get through it?
Well, things got pretty real when we had to cancel the Calgary Stampede in 2020. That was a signal to us and everyone that the community was in big trouble. So it was the right thing to do in 2020. Cancellation was hard on a not-for-profit rodeo. 2021, we put on a very good show, but Americans couldn't come visit. People were understandably a little bit nervous about coming out, but you can feel the energy for 2022, 117 days from now.
You got the countdown, huh? Well, so what was it like in 2021? I'm just trying to remember, as far as the television coverage and so forth. I don't know, it was on CBC, and I think, yeah, but it wasn't the same. Like, what were your crowds like and stuff?
They were substantially down from, say, 2019. We were 500,000 people last year. We were 1.3 for comparative sake in 2019. So we're looking for about 1 million people this year.
Wow.
With the borders open, with just the general feeling out in the community. And I got to say, we're doing things safely. We did things safely last year. And many organizations, including sports teams, followed our protocols that we had developed to open to public.
Well, it's funny because that brother that I talk about that was once a cowboy, always a cowboy. He's just not competing anymore. But he was sending me these Alberta government restrictions for capacity. And he was saying, well, by the end of summer, the rodeos are going to be full in Alberta. But they didn't get to that, did they? That was the talk. But like you had explain to me the Stampede protocols versus the province of Alberta. Were they different?
We followed Alberta guidelines, but we also enhanced them. So last year we said to the community, we will go above and beyond. So we did have masking in areas that you didn't actually have to have masking. We had it. But we've also learned we're not just going to be getting rid of all of our protocols. There will be cleaning, there's spacing. Those things will survive, even though we're in 2022 now. We just have to do that. That's what we've learned.
So what were your policies that other leagues emulated, if you will?
Well, we did have some at the time when you have to show that you had vaccines or rapid testing on site. That was a very popular thing for people who hadn't had their full vaccination. They could still come on park, but if there were particular venues they wanted to go in, live testing right there was happening.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Was this for the spectators or the competitors or both?
Well, if we're going to talk about rodeo competitors, they were in a full bubble, because many of them were Americans. So we had worked with all levels of government to have them invited and across the border, and they lived in Strathmore. They would come in, do their rodeo, and go right back out. So they were very, very dedicated professionals.
Sounds ingenious, but also sounds like a major pain in the ass. Like, you'd be glad that that's over with, right? And I got to say, I can see why they hired him, Lee. Very positive guy. This is the kind of guy you want as a face of the organization. But I also got to think you got to be a bit of a sucker for punishment. To take this job in the pandemic? Ooh. How was the stress? You would have been smiling like this a year ago, I wouldn't think.
Last year, the smile was a little bit less, but it was a great challenge. This time last year, and I've been saying, this time last year, what we were thinking about, some people were just getting their vaccines. We hadn't heard what was going to be happening, but we were making plans for a stampede that we hoped would come through. And this year, we have full plans. The board has approved a full stampede. I am optimistic, but I'm also realistic. So we're ready to pivot whenever we have to.
What does a full stampede mean?
Full stampede this year? Well, we're going to start out with a fantastic parade on the first Friday, full rodeo. We're super happy to welcome back the chuck wagon races. We've got First Nations, Indigenous programming. The Elbow River Camp will be full. You name it, it's there. The food vendors are coming up. I was just in a meeting about that from the U.S. We're going to have a great array of new foods. We've got a tarp auction on the 12th of April, which did not happen for the last couple of years, obviously. So these are great indications that things are going to go forward in a normal way.
You got your parade marshal nailed down yet?
Can't tell you.
Need a deputy parade marshal?
Always.
Hey?
Are you volunteering?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? We might jump in head first. That's what we do around here. So,
well, I can't tell you we'll be coming out with our poster. It will be on the 30th of March. So look forward to it.
Not too far away, yeah.
No, not too far away.
Well, like I say, Steve, and if Lee has told you the history of this show and what we're doing here, I'm not joking when I say I'm on pins and needles with being at our first Stampede. But as you can tell, I've been a fan forever, but life has just kind of gotten in the way.
Sure.
And for our viewers, because we are on national television, I'm not the only guy that's never been to a Stampede before. For the people that are out there, why should they come?
Why should they come to Calgary Stampede?
Yeah. If they never have, what's going to make this year
Might
so
as well
special?
start with the best.
Yeah.
But we put on a fantastic show. The city opens up. Of course, you can come for the rodeo and the Calgary Stampede. Banff is just right on our doorstep. But you're going to see things from not just about rodeo, chuck wagons, and all those things we like. It's also about art. It's about culture. It's about history. And it's really the roots of Calgary. So Calgary opens its doors. You'll find the friendliest people, free pancakes every day. It's something that you will remember. So if it's on your bucket list, this is the time to do it.
There you go. Well, I'll be here for sure, and I'm just hoping maybe that pulled in a few more viewers, and I have a sense that it probably has. But when I said that it was the heartbeat of Calgary, that's just how I feel. And what did you say, the history of Calgary? That's what you said?
Right in the roots.
Yeah, right. The roots of Calgary. That's what you said. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, is there anything else, Steve, that people should know before we let you go?
Well, we're just appreciative of the community support, that our volunteers are the core of this thing. And that is an important thing. So if you're coming from across Canada, you're going to be talking to volunteers that put this on with passion and professionalism, and you'll have a great time.
Always tons of things to do around here in the Calgary area, but the Calgary Stampede would be a great time to make it your first. Steve, thanks for coming down. Great to meet you, and we'll be seeing you again.
Thanks.
All right. We'll be right back. The Moose will join us, and we'll get into more of the Quick Six and all that's going on today. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network, available all across Alberta and BC on the TELUS Optic TV carrier, and live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. There's a live look at it. Another beautiful Alberta morning. By the way, Buddy Guy, coming April 30th, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, thrilled to present an 8-time Grammy Award winner and one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Buddy Guy brings his raw and unadulterated sound to the Grey Eagle Event Center stage April 30th. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster.ca. And George Thorogood. Catch the rock legend George Thorogood live on May 6th at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Rock your heart out at this high-energy boogie blues show.
Whoa.
May the 6th. We got him. Do you recognize the voice, the sultry tones of the Moose? How you doing, Moose?
Did you miss me?
Well, I didn't, but the viewers did.
You know what?
The viewers did.
Did they actually?
I could go in and find it, but I appreciate everybody sticking with us. It's been a bit of a blur, a bit of a hurricane today, which is fine. That's our life.
Mm-hmm.
But live guests in and out, video guests in and out, and what have you been doing? Doing business?
But I'm having a great day. Like getting connected with Steve and
cool,
Alanna,
dude.
and spent a lot of time with Alanna and on the phone, and people around here watching. This is great.
Yeah, so
there we
got
go.
some live studio audience here. Hey, I can't guarantee that we're always going to have the eclectic live guests that we've had today, but we try. Clark does his best, and there are more. There was this hockey guy at a game I was at the other night, and he goes, well, are you going to burn through the guests? And I said, how about you just worry about yourself? He's like, what are you going to do when you get through all the guests? Again, you do you, we'll do well. What did we say, Clark, 3 years ago? Well, run them through again.
Bingo!
Right?
Exactly. You're going to run out of guests by Labor Day. Remember that?
Clark loved that one. He took that as a personal affront.
Yeah, exactly.
And this guy, aren't you getting tired of living in a casino? Aren't you tired of buffet food? No.
How could you?
It's a resort. People would pay to live like this. You just worry about you. Anyways, Moose, I had all these things, and we got a little out of order today, and that's why I brought you in a little earlier here in segment 2.
Yeah.
I didn't even get through all the quick six, so let me just read this. The Toronto Raptors look to cap their road trip with a 5th consecutive victory tonight. They're in LA facing the Clippers 2 nights after they cruised past LeBron and the Lakers. And on the basketball note, the pro basketball note, Nicaragua beat Puerto Rico 96-83 in Basketball Champions League of the Americans play last night at Winsport Arena. And the event will wrap up tonight. It would be the Edmonton Stingers representing Canada against Nicaragua. I can't make it tonight because I'm hosting the Recovery Hour television show from here at the same time. But can you go and represent us? You can get your tickets at cebl.ca. For the Calgary area viewers, they're testing the city to put a pro team here. So you were there the other night. We didn't talk about it a lot the next day as much as we should have. It was it's a vibe. Pro basketball is a vibe.
It really is. It really is. As soon as you walk in, you feel it. You know, it's loud. You know, the fans are getting into it. Courtside seats, 2 rows deep. It's really awesome. If you've never experienced it, it's worth checking out. I don't know if you'd be able to grab a courtside seat for tonight. Probably all full unless you can get it on the resale market. But it is a cool thing to see.
I'm just sifting through the comments in the chat before I get to the Leafs, okay?
Okay.
BW watching on YouTube says the Calgary Stampede was on the Cowboy channel on Shaw Direct. Hopefully again this year. Jason and Red Deer says, Rod, you have to go to the Chuck Wagons and the evening show for sure. We're going to take it all in. That's the one thing that the Calgary people are getting used to me, and I'm getting used to them. We're not going to sit in our room every night. We're going to be out. We're going to be doing things.
Well,
we're going to be in the community.
Probably
it's our MO.
The biggest thing in the Stampede for me to get to, which, by the way, I'll let you know, I've never done the Stampede. I've never been to the Stampede. Me either. But I've been to other rodeos, and I've been to other carnivals, and the whole deal, and it combines all of that. But for us, it'll be the eating. The corn dogs, the fudge, right? That'll be our MO, probably.
Moose always tells me that they love the stories here. You, the viewers, love the stories more than the sports talk. And that's probably true. But these guys, you have to understand something. We're introducing this show to a bunch of new people out here in Alberta and all over North America. Yeah, I was raised on that farm ranch outfit. But the second I graduated grade 12, see ya. And my dad was, see ya. He was just as happy to see me go. But growing up, we went to the Chuck Wagons at Craven.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what they called it. It wasn't the Big Valley Jamboree. That was the Country Music Festival. There was another one in August with the Chuck Wagons and the rodeo and everything. And that older brother, Lee, who you know.
Yes.
They were trying to make me a cowboy. I got to be into my teens. They're like, here's a rope for you. And we bought you a horse. And I'm like, no. Yeah. And the horses are big. They scare me. And they stink. And I often say I went to a rodeo once with my brother and his buddies. And this is what they were doing. They took those rubber feeding tubs that the horses, they filled it full of water, and they're like bathing themselves in the water. I'm like, you guys aren't even going to shower?
It's a
cowboy way. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But when I did that dinner in Paradise Hill with Daryl Sutter, Buddy Benz Miller, and Brian Sutter, I was telling that story, and I said, I just wanted to be a cowboy like 2 or 3 times a year. Craven, Agribition, Rodeo, Cabaret, and I can't remember the third. And Daryl just...
I'm a cowboy like Billy Crystal's a cowboy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I'm on vacation.
Exactly.
City slickers. So that's my extent of being... Doesn't mean I don't love it. or know it. I just don't want to be it. But for a couple times a year.
Yeah.
Anyways, Mike Blackbird in Toronto says, is the CEBL on CBC Gem tonight? It's on CBC Gem, but it's also on NBA TV Canada. So you can watch either streaming or you can watch on NBA TV Canada. From Wayne in Victoria says, hey, Rod, I'm surprised that you're not 300 pounds by now. LOL. Everybody's saying that, including hotel staff. But Pink Drink, working out every day. And they've got a fabulous gym facility here. Fabulous gym facility. And as they said, you would talk about, Alanna said how well they treat the Stamps at Grey Eagle. How about the very first day we were here? They said, we got a fantastic gym here, hot tub and pool. But if you want to take it up a notch, we'll take it down to the Seven Chiefs Sportsplex, which the gym there is on caliber with any NCAA Division I football program.
Yeah.
And I've been to those places too. Okay. Back to sports, because allegedly that's what we do here. One, General Manager Ross Atkins says the Toronto Blue Jays are still looking to add to their infield. Atkins spoke about the Jays' next move Tuesday afternoon after formally introducing pitcher Yusei Kikuchi, Toronto's latest free agent signing. Atkins believes the Blue Jays have closed the gap competitively, but he feels more can be done to stay competitive in the American League East. Arash Madani is coming up next segment to talk about specifically that. He, a part of the Blue Jays broadcast crew. But this is what I was waiting for, Moose, and I think a lot of the viewers too. Your opinion on what happened with Toronto last night. Eric Jalgren made 35 saves to earn a shutout in his first NHL start as the Maple Leafs blanked the Dallas Stars 4-0. John Tavares had a goal and an assist for the Maple Leafs, who were missing Austin Matthews, of course, due to the suspension. Are you worried about Leafs goaltending?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I still am. Because you can't expect a rookie to come in. Even though he had his first shutout, he looked really good last night, and I'm really happy. And, you know, we want to jump on him and hand him the Vezina already and do all these things and say we're saved. It's one game, right, until he can put a string together. We like Matt Murray, young goaltender, coming onto the scene and doing really well. Tristan Jarry in Pittsburgh again. We like seeing young goaltenders take off, but until you're proven, there's always going to be a question mark. And we don't know what Mrazek and Campbell are going to do either because there's some question marks there. So, no, far too early. Maybe at the end of the season I'll feel better about it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I'm really enjoying about Craig Button. And he's been doing this TV thing, this TSN thing for a while, but he's settling more and more and more into it.
Right.
You know, for what he says on TSN and SportsCenter is one thing, but what he said on here, I don't know if you saw the interview or if you were doing a meeting down here, but he said he can't believe how dumb people are. Like, for instance, Jalgren gets the shutout last night in his Leafs debut, which is no small thing. He's the fourth or fifth guy to do it. I think the fourth. It's a significant thing. But he's not the first.
That's right.
Garrett Sparks was the last in 2015, and the last time it happened was like, did you see this? 1950 and 1929.
Yeah.
Significant deal.
Yeah.
But Craig's like, and now they're wondering out here in Toronto, should he start the next game? Like, how stupid are you? Of course he's going to start the next game.
Yeah, let him roll. He's young. Like, I mean, you got to see what you've got in him.
Of course you're starting him.
Yeah. Set a shutout.
Let's hear from the Leafs fans. Oh, we heard. There's one. Avalanche fan. Okay.
All right.
I now know 3 Avalanche fans. Maybe 4. Daniel watching on YouTube says, question, will Darren Dupont wear a Stetson hat during the world-famous Calgary Stampede? Yes or no? You have a hat
it's in the car. Yeah, it's in the car.
Do you know what brand that is? You don't even know, do you?
No, I don't. So I'll
Can you imagine?
So I will say this. It's not mine. It's my brother's. I don't have my own anymore. I used to. It wasn't black. It was the light tan color. But I don't have it anymore. So either I'll wear his or I'll be in line for a new one. But the brand will be out.
Steve McDonagh, Stampede Steve, the president of the Calgary Stampede, was here earlier, and on his way off the stage, he said, Rod, do you have a hat? Now, I don't have one here. I got one back in the homeland, but he says, hey, my son makes them from scratch, custom-made Smith-built hats. So we'll get that done.
That's cool. I'm in.
Would it look chintzy to slap a Rod Pedersen Show logo on one side and Grey Eagle on the other?
Yes.
I don't care. Sell my soul. Let's do it.
On the vest, when you get the leather vest like the bull riders wear, you can put the logos on that. That would look good.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Daniel goes on to say, hello, Darren Dupont. Always good to hear your opinions. I wasn't joking when I said they missed you. Just checking in. Jason in Red Deer says, is your audio being broadcast in the casino too, Rod? Yeah, well, why don't you come down and see?
Absolutely.
Yes, the audio is being broadcast throughout the casino. It's the perfect deal. Mike Blackbird in Toronto. Leafs win. Fans still rioting. That's Toronto for you. I don't get it. That's the one thing I said to Alanna Nolan, and she was with us last hour. Would you say 10 years on Stampeders TV, 5 Flames TV?
Yeah.
And I said, Toronto, it's just not my thing. I mean, I was raised on a farm where you could go 3 days without talking to anybody. I'd be talking to cows after a while. Just space. That's why I like Arizona so much. Didn't it have a sense of that?
A lot of space.
You can swing your arms and not hit anybody in Arizona.
Yeah.
In Toronto, you swing your arms, you hit 10 people.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. It's just too busy for me. But I don't get the fan mentality of that team. Are you one of? I don't feel like you're one of the crazies.
No, I'm not in that market, right? I've never been in that market for any real significant length of time. So, yeah, no. And when you get that hung up on it, I mean, I love that. I love how passionate they are. But at some point, you got to be a little more realistic, and a little more, tempered. I don't know what the word is.
But that's what Craig Button was saying. He's like, these people are not right.
But it's
I got that sense.
When you don't win, it's insecurity, right? So you see something that a guy has a shot, you're like, he could be the next Johnny Bower. Let's make sure, he's the next Johnny Bower.
And that, by the way, is fine. But he's saying, should he start the next game? Yeah. Well, of course he should start the next game. What the hell's wrong with you? That's why these people shouldn't be coaching. Let's put it that way. By the way, one of our P1s, Todd Pinckney, writes in and says, is there any more info on the golf tourney? Well, you are in luck. Got it right here. Rocky Mountain Rotary Golf Classic. You are cordially invited. This is the Grey Eagle official golf tournament. Yeah, I could sit here and read it. It is Monday, June 20th at Bears Paw Golf Club. The Rocky Mountain Rotary Golf Classic, in partnership with the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. $250 per player, $1,000 per team, one celebrity per team, and we're working with the Grey Eagle to stock the celebrity list, and there's going to be some good ones. They got their own long list, but
that's right.
We're adding in the Jeff Fairholmes and, Kelly Rudy and our buddies. It's just going to be fantastic. We're going to be broadcasting live. Have you talked with Grey Eagle about this?
That was when we got the pamphlet. That was the last time we chatted about it. We got the information and all the gear. And
okay. I'm carrying it around with me, so I can send you the information on it. And I can tell you for a fact, we got 2 signed Connor Bedard jerseys as donated by the Rod Pedersen Show. As donated by Rod Pedersen.
Yeah.
How about
and a signed Bo Levi jersey, it's Calgary Stampeders jersey. So I think it's going to be the biggest golf tournament of the summer in Canada.
I'm excited. It's going to be really great. Really, really great. And those are always fun. And if we're going to be able to have our show, it sounds like the timing's going to work out perfect for us to do our show, get off the air, and then get on the golf course. So that's going to be really awesome.
Daniel writes and says, remember that time a guy in the stands put on the goalie gear and beat the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Oh, no.
You'll always have that.
It was last year. 2 years ago, whatever. We'll never forget that.
Never.
Jason in Red Deer, I wish I could come down and watch live, Rod, but unfortunately the bills got to be paid. I get it. but we can't move the show times around to accommodate the viewers. Didn't work that way. Hey, can you start the movie at 11 in the morning, Cineplex? That works better for me.
Yeah, see how well that goes over. But I will tell you this, there's great tables here. The internet works in the building. I don't know if they'd let you bring your stuff in.
Yeah,
here,
come
but...
work here.
Exactly.
Let me guess, you're working remotely anyways. Somebody said about Yellowstone. I'm sorry, there are so many comments that have come in here today. Unbelievable. Jennifer at the Four Seasons. Are you guys still going to be in Calgary, April 23rd? That is a Texas 10-4. Yes, we will. How much information do you want me to divulge on that?
I don't know, whatever you feel like comfortable with.
Here it is from Jason. Don't forget, Rod, Lloyd on Yellowstone said the Calgary Stampede was his favorite rodeo.
I remember.
It's everybody's favorite rodeo.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't ever talk about this, but we could. I could talk about it all day. I could host a show on the damn Cowboy Channel myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what the granddaddy of them all is, where that rodeo is? I ask you because I know you don't know.
No, I'm going to guess in Texas.
Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Ah.
I could host a show on rodeos, just like Alanna Nolan did. Can you go? Who would know? I just don't talk about it. Just like the recovery world. I don't talk about that either. Here. Which, by the way, the Recovery Hour airs tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain on Facebook Live and YouTube. Don Mitchell writes in, he says, sometimes I wish the Leafs would win the cup already. Then they could quit whining. He says, who am I kidding? I love it. The Toronto fans are miserable. 1967. Oh, man, you got to let this stuff go, Don. You got to let this stuff go. I'm with them. Who here wants the Leafs to win the Stanley Cup so they would shut up, and then we could go another 50 years without hearing from them? But that would be the best.
The Dons, though, they're more angry about this than Leaf fans are, right? I think we're just like we're not even angry about it. We're used to it. It's just a way of life. I've never known them to be, really having a sniff at the cup. It's not even an expectation. It doesn't bother me.
Of you.
I guess I may be.
There are other people, producer Clark, set your watch to the "this is our year" talk.
I know. Every time, it's waking up, pull the sheets over. This is my day, every day.
I do have to say, however, before I let you go, and we only have a minute before we bring in Arash, but the Golden Knights, what's going on?
I know.
And I'm a little upset. We decided last night that we were just going to veg and not do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm flipping through the channels, and I didn't get the Jets Golden Knights game. I couldn't get my VPN to work to pirate it illegally. I was upset. I wanted to watch that game. That's the only bad thing is you don't get the Jets games out here.
Yeah, I know.
It's not enough to get Oilers and Flames.
I know. Did you watch Oilers?
I did.
Wings?
How could you not?
I watched that. What a game.
It was a grease fire.
And then the game-winning goal is off the guy's own stick and in after all of that. Like, they came all the way back to Detroit. Like, for being a bad hockey team, I really enjoyed watching the Detroit Red Wings play hockey. They're exciting.
There's no other or better drama than watching the Edmonton Oilers play hockey.
I'm like, they're up 4-1. I'm like, okay.
You thought the roller coasters were wild at Knott's Berry Farm.
Right.
Be an Oilers season ticket holder, man.
I know.
Your hair will either be fallen out or turned white by Christmas.
Yeah, and last night was just another trip on the coaster, man. Holy.
See ya at overtime, Moose.
You bet.
Arash Madani joins us next. We're broadcasting live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino on the beautiful Tsuut'ina Nation. We're on Game Plus Television, live streaming on YouTube. And if you've missed any portion of the show, you can always catch the podcast wherever you enjoy your podcasts, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
You're looking at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, here the gateway to the foothills, Calgary's entertainment destination. It has just been a fantastic day. Alanna, Nolan of Flames and Stamps TV, Stampede President Steve McDonagh, TSN's Craig Button, and it just continues as we welcome in our great friend Arash Madani from Rogers Sportsnet Blue Jay coverage. And hey, Arash, good to see you, my man. Let's dive right into it, if you don't mind. Ross Atkins, the GM of the Blue Jays, saying Tuesday that they've closed the gap, he feels, in the competitive AL East. They've made a deal today. How excited are you on the landscape of the Blue Jays here with spring training opening?
Well, I think if you're a Blue Jay fan, Roddy, I mean, just from a defensive standpoint, this team has gotten a lot better today. They go out and trade for Matt Chapman, a handful of prospects, then a couple of Major League-ready players come back. But the Blue Jays defensively really struggled at third base last year. And when you think about defensive runs saved in all of baseball over the last 4 or 5 years, Matt Chapman is number 3 in the game. I mean, we're talking about a 99th percentile defender. He's got a wins above replacement of nearly 8. I mean, when your WAR is around 7.5, that is big time. So the Blue Jays get a significant upgrade there. but they still need a second baseman. Marcus Semion's gone over to Texas. So it's been such a weird offseason because of the lockout. Now spring training is underway, and they're still making free agent signings now.
Well, it's interesting you say that with Marcus Semien gone and Robbie Ray, too. We talk about the exciting acquisitions, of course, but what about those losses? I mean, how are they going to fill for Robbie Ray?
Well, they went and got Kevin Gausman, which is, one of the front-of-the-line rotation starters, was number one, number two, depending on how you kind of consider it in San Francisco last year. Logan Webb got the ball for game one of the postseason against LA. But for the first time in a while, Roddy, I actually don't look at starting pitching 1 through 5 as a question mark for the Blue Jays. First time in quite some time. They just extended Jose Barrios, who they brought over in a trade last year, gave up a hefty haul for him. Now they have Gausman as your number 2. Alek Manoah, who a year ago was not even on the radar, has established himself as one of the premier young pitchers in the game. Then you have Ryu, and you bring in Kikuchi from Seattle on a 3-year deal. 1 through 5, the Blue Jays rotation is set. Now the question is, with a shortened spring training and with all the injury possibilities, what kind of depth do you have in your starting staff? Well, Ross Stripling's hanging around, Nate Pearson's hanging around, Ryan Baracki's out of options. He could be an option coming down. So I actually believe that the Blue Jays starting pitching is in probably as good a shape as we can remember in quite some time.
And it's Vladdy's 23rd birthday today. Is he the most popular? No, dumb question. Austin Matthews is the most popular athlete in Toronto. I would assume. You're there. You tell me. Where's Vladdy rate on the scale?
I don't know. That's a good question. Now that I start to think about it, who are the most popular athletes in this city? I actually think, even though Fred VanVleet was an all-star and got a lot of fan voting, Scotty Barnes is really becoming, the player that a lot of Raptor fans are gravitating toward. Austin Matthews is having a superb season. There's something about Vladdy, Rod. I don't know if it's because he's a second-generation Canadian baseball player. His father obviously played for the Expos. Is it the megawatt smile? Is it the fact that, he's just identified by his first name, Vlad? Home run derby champion, runner-up for MVP, gets that whole dugout kind of going. Guerrero is all of it. You mentioned it's his 23rd birthday. He is top 3 right now in AL MVP voting. I looked it up yesterday. It's plus 400. Last year he would have won Most Valuable Player in the American League if not for Shohei Ohtani, who did things that we've never seen before. So it's Ohtani, Trout, and Guerrero who are really the straws that stir the drink in the American League. But in terms of marketable stars in baseball, Vlad's right there among anybody and everybody else in the game.
It's a fascinating debate, and the only reason that ever came on my radar was when OBJ was with the Giants, and you probably were aware of this. They said he was the most popular athlete in New York, and I thought, man, that is saying something, given the franchises there in New York. And it was OBJ and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get sidetracked. But can I just say this? The Blue Jays, if they stay healthy, Vladdy and the rest, do have a chance to contend in the AL East or no?
Yes. Right now, they're the betting favorites to win the division. They still have to do an upgrade to their bullpen. There's no question there. And they need a second baseman. But it's such a weird time because, remember, Rod, basically from the first week of December until last week, it was a lockout. Teams couldn't even contact agents. It was a $500,000 fine on the table if there was any tampering or any kind of communication between players and coaches. I heard a story that a player was actually in Arizona and reached out to a coach and said, "What's that restaurant in Phoenix you always talk about?" And the coach didn't reply with the threat of a fine. So right now, you not only have camp going, but free agency at the same time, trades at the same time. Matt Olson going over from Oakland to Atlanta. It was Chapman today to the Blue Jays. Josh Donaldson went over to the Yankees. A lot is happening right now. But as I look at the AL East right now, and I know Tampa's the defending division champs, never count them out. I just look at the firepower on this team offensively. I look at the starting arms that they have, and I just look at what what they've shown that they can do defensively. I think right now Toronto's the best team in the division. They got to go do it for 162 games.
And that's where the fun begins. Hey, Randy's road trip kicked off in Calgary here yesterday. I don't know if you saw Danny Austin's coverage of it in the Calgary Sun. He was one of them on the Stampeders website, some of the only media that I saw doing stories on it. Did you follow what came out of it at all?
I did, and obviously the Genius Sports thing is a big part of this, and Danny did some great reporting. The Drive to Survive thing is what every league now wants to do because of what it's done with F1. The PGA Tour is on board with this. There were cameras following Rafa Nadal and a bunch of tennis players in Melbourne at the Australian Open. Tennis is following suit. Rod, I've been told that Genius Sports / CFL / the TV rights holders, the competitor to the company I work for, are hoping to sit down with the CFLPA and make a presentation and make a pitch towards something. Now, I would suspect it has something to do with the Drive to Survive model. But I'm also told, Rod, that Genius Sports has really made a push to the league office about 4 downs, and that Randy Ambrosie has let the teams know and let some of the football people know that there is a real push towards 4 downs from their now partner over at Genius Sports. So keep that in mind as this kind of unfolds, that some of the reporting that came out of Grey Cup week, well, it's getting a real push now from one of the key stakeholders on the business side of that entire operation. Yep.
You drop that stink bomb now, we're almost out of time.
I'm just answering your questions, brother.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, and it didn't come out of the blue at Grey Cup. There's no doubt. We'll have to bring you on a little more regularly to follow this story. But if I may, let me just say this. You worked in this town of Calgary. I wonder what your affection is for it, because your life kind of pivoted here, if I'm not mistaken, did it not?
Yeah, I was actually talking to somebody about this just yesterday. I covered the Flames back in the Score, before the Score was just an app. Rod, remember those good old days? Because you were part of the Regina deal, and I was in Ottawa and then Calgary with the Score. We were bureau reporters. I did the 07-08 Flames season. I can't believe that was 15 years ago. So it was Ginla, it was Kiprasov, Phaneuf, Regier, Langkow, Conroy, Sarich. I mean, on and on it went. It was a great time. And I know Ryan Leslie comes on the show. Ryan was with Global then, and Ryan's a beauty. So, no, I remember those days quite fondly in Calgary. And we got into lots of fun, a lot of trouble there.
Those were the good old days, for sure. Well, I'll say hi to your crew. We're overdue for a catch-up. Thanks for this, Arash, and good luck on the Blue Jays trail.
All right. Thanks, Roddy.
Sportsnet's Arash Madani checking in from the Big Smoke, Hogtown. We'll be back with overtime right after this break to wrap up what's just been a fantastic day here at Grey Eagle. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
One more time, it's overtime for many people, their favorite part of the show. Maybe that's because the Moose rejoins us here at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We're live at the Stage Bar. Overtime is brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, and they are your home for the NHL and UFC. Has anybody checked on the Greek Freak? He's so excited about the Leafs winning with the rookie Kjellgren last night. Biggest Leafs fan, frankly, that I know. But it's overtime, and it's viewer takeover, and just checking the text line, the 902 line. Ron Thompson in Calgary says, Craig Button, the best. He is. Wilf Gerhardt is watching on Game Plus TV in Steinbach, Manitoba, home of the Pistons. And he says, I noticed that goalies take a drink after allowing a goal. Must be dehydrated. Exclamation point. You know what that is as a former goalie? You're embarrassed. You know the camera's on you. You know, a lot of people, like Darren knows this because he's around me all the time, and that diploma that I have in, like, body language, right, and the way the brain works. A lot of people's nervous tells are, they'll like feign a yawn or something. You know what I mean? Like just when you're uncomfortable, you don't know what else to do.
Right. You can't just sit there and look stupid. So you got to do something.
Yeah, and that's the goalies.
Check your phone.
Turn and take a squirt of water.
Turn and take a squirt of water because you know the camera's on you. It's like, and instead of just some rare, they'll just sit there with hunched over, kind of bent over.
In some cases,
but that's very, very rare that I see.
But Wilf is right. And Wilf, thank you for texting into the program, by the way. That is a very unheralded name, Wilfred.
Yeah.
I knew a few in my hometown. Wilfred Matchett. He played in the square dance band. That probably won't surprise you. Wilfred Matchett. No. And now every NHL game I'm going to watch now, I'm going to see if the goalie's taking a shot of water after.
Yeah.
I will. What's the Bet Regal line on that? What's the over-under on how many times they show the goalie and he takes a shot of water?
Yeah, every time there's a goal.
Like over 90% of the time?
90%. These are the advanced stats I'm here for, okay? These are the stats I'm here for.
This is like an article at The Athletic. Expected goals, analytics, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
This is a prop bet.
Expected water
Drinks.
bottle shots, EWS.
Yeah. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up some of the news that I didn't get to at all today, and one is Sammy Guavin, good friend of mine, signing a $2 million deal with the Miami Dolphins, a one-year deal, $2 million. And when I say good friend, it's just because I've watched his story. It's the commentary today. If you go to rodpedersen.com or listen on Cat Country or Rock 98, the guy was working at Foot Locker, hating his life. Nothing against Foot Locker at all, but he wanted a shot at pro ball, and it wasn't coming.
Yeah.
And that's universe stuff, man. That's 11-11. Like, he saw the ad that the Saskatchewan Roughriders were having an open tryout in Dallas. Pay $100, come try out for the team. And he did. And that was in 2016. And now here he is. He's been in the NFL since 19, 20, 21, 20. He's going into his fourth NFL season.
Yeah.
Pretty good investment, that $100.
I'd say. He's made that 10 times over. It's you root for people like that pay the money, take a chance on themselves, never give up on their dreams. I love that. And we want to see more of it. And I know we didn't talk about Alex Singleton much yesterday, although it was brought up. Will he come back to the CFL? Well, he was a 2-time leading tackler for Philadelphia. Twice he led the team in tackles the last 2 years. He
team captain.
Was a team captain. Couple of touchdowns. He's going to land somewhere else in the NFL if he hasn't already, for sure, before he's starting to exercise coming back. And he's only 26, I believe. So he's still young. So he'll have an opportunity.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in and says, I wonder if Huff has contacted Singleton yet. That's the one thing that people, I don't think, understand. Every player's different. Some player, last minute of play in the RP show, last minute of play. Some guys are going to go to the highest bidder. Some guys are going to go to the city that they want to play in, live in, where their friends are. Everybody's different. Alex Singleton strikes me as the kind of guy that if he was coming back to the CFL, it would be here. Although there's a misconception that he had said early in his draft year in the CFL that if I don't get drafted by Calgary, I'm not coming. He came on this show and said, that's not true.
Right.
I would have played anywhere. Right? But now, after having spent some time here, I think that he would come back to Calgary. And then, did you see Arash drop this 4-down thing? You saw that? Now all the viewers are upset that the CFL's strongly considering going to 4 downs. Don't shoot the messenger. But they always do.
Stew on that for 24 hours.
We'll talk about it more on Friday. Thanks to our huge guest list today. We'll see you tomorrow at noon Eastern. Game Plus. Let's make some noise!